Welcome back to Shiny Happy Couples, How to Detoxify Your Relationship. In this lesson, we will continue exploring the Egoity section of this course. Now that we know its cause and purpose, we'll discuss some more about regulating Egoity when resolving conflict during proactive one-on-one interaction. We will first review the role of Egoity in the conflict resolution process. We will then introduce the concept of taming your Egoity during proactive interaction. And we'll finish up with a brief discussion on respecting Egoity and its key role in resolving conflict and detoxifying your relationship. So let's get started.
So far in this section, we have discussed how your Egoity protects a threatened presumed truth or belief by attacking, shielding, or running away from the source of the threatening information, your partner. During proactive interaction, identifying and questioning the threatened belief and opening it up to scrutiny is the key to taming your Egoity. At that point, you stop seeing your partner as your opponent on the other side of the net and work together to find the reason for resentment and detoxify your relationship. Remember, Egoity will be evoked during effective interaction. The conversation is always going to be a little warm when you have conflicting viewpoints on a subject. Egoity cannot be stopped. It can only be contained. Let's start out by discussing the rise and fall of a typical Egoity response during proactive one-on-one interaction. 1. You have an assumed truth or belief. 2. Your partner shares information that conflicts with that belief. 3. Your Egoity springs into action, causing you to fight, shield, or flee from your partner, the one that shared the information. 4. Your Egoity will continue to be evoked as long as you hold the belief to be unquestionably true. The threatening information makes you feel as though your partner is deliberately trying to hurt you. Your belief being challenged feels like you being challenged. And at that moment, your belief feels like it's part of you, and your Egoity will dutifully protect it as long as that is the case. And the goal and the end game of this course is the last stage, 5. The instant you are able to identify and question the threatened belief and opening it up to scrutiny, the need for your Egoity to protect it vanishes. You no longer think your partner is deliberately trying to hurt you, and instead see you both on the same side of the net. Now it's only your belief being challenged and the resentment attached to it. In terms of effective conflict resolution, this 5th step is the magic moment. Just as we concluded in our last lesson, being able to identify and challenge threatened beliefs help transform a traditional argument into effective interaction. Successful Egoity regulation is maintained so long as the threatened beliefs are questioned whenever they are identified. Effective interaction is nothing more than a necessary series of Egoity alarms and resets, each one getting you closer to finding the reason for resentment and resolving the conflict. Egoity is the protective reaction to shared information that threatens an understanding or belief. Think of the job of a watchdog. When a perceived threat draws near, a watchdog starts barking. This is the watchdog's job. You want this to occur. Your dog is warning you that an unknown entity is approaching your home. At this point, if you were curious about what was out there, you would simply pat the dog on his head and whisper, "I'll take it from here." Take control of the situation and answer the door. Instead of wondering why your dog was barking, you could get mad at the dog for scaring you, making so much noise, or cover your ears and do nothing until the barking stopped. Your watchdog is simply trying to warn you and ward off whatever's out there. It may be a friend, a thief, even a sales representative holding a giant check. You will never know until your curiosity overrides your fear of vulnerability, and you take control and see what all the fuss is about. As mentioned in an earlier lesson, the purpose of your Egoity is very much like the purpose of a watchdog. Your Egoity warns you that information has been shared that is not congruent with a current understanding or belief. Like a watchdog, your Egoity will continue to bark until you figuratively pat it on its head and take back control. You take back control by being curious about what was said or done and overriding your initial reaction of judgment and fear of vulnerability. Another way of looking at Egoity as just the messenger is thinking of it like you would a smoke detector. When an alarm goes off, it is meant to be loud and disruptive. The disruption warns you that something is possibly threatening your home's security and requires your attention. Once the alarm has our attention, you can address the issue that caused it if you hadn't already. Your Egoity, like an alarm, is only the messenger, not the issue. Disabling a smoke detector to avoid getting disturbed does not prevent minor lapses in memories from threatening your home. Respect the fact that your Egoity is only there to warn you when something you care about is being threatened, just as a smoke detector is there to warn you when your house is being threatened. By taking control and addressing the real issue, you tame your Egoity and you allow effective interaction to resolve any conflict and detoxify your relationship. The purpose of your Egoity is pretty simple. It is to point out when shared information threatens the belief that you hold. Period. During one-on-one interaction, the moment you comprehend that your Egoity has been evoked, you could instantly settle it down by identifying and letting go of the threatened belief and calmly debating its validity with your partner. Allowing Egoity to continue after that point is not only useless, it's disrespectful to your partner and harmful to the conversation, as we all know. Letting your Egoity continue after realizing it has been evoked is like continuing to engage your car's starter after the engine started. It serves no purpose, makes a lot of noise, and it's actually harmful to the car. Remember that your Egoity is just identifying and protecting a threatened belief and the underlying resentment that threatens the relationship. A barking watchdog is just the warning that identifies the intruder that threatens its domain. Allowing your Egoity to continuously bark during proactive interaction is disrespectful to your partner, since it can only interfere with your investigation of the unresolved issue. Instead of letting it run wild, respecting your Egoity and its purpose allows for effective information exchange to resolve any conflict. And that's the whole idea.
In this lesson, we continued exploring the Egoity section of the Melfox method and regulating this normal and natural protective response. We reviewed the continuous rise and fall of your Egoity during the conflict resolution process. We then introduced the concept of taming your Egoity during proactive interaction and finished up with a brief discussion on respecting your Egoity and its key role in resolving conflict and detoxifying your relationship. Well, that's all for this lesson. Next up, Egoity wrap-up and review. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.